All right, good afternoon, everybody. My name is David Moore,
My name is Demani Blatch.
and we're here to present our Haacp plan on catfish fillets.
Yes.
Now, for our prereqs, we're having a catfish facility located in Alabama. We're going to have 8 2-acre ponds around the facility to hold the catfish so that, we hold on and make sure that they're close range so that we have easy access to the catfish.
Yes.
The facility will be broken down into different areas, each one specific to one type of thing. So like there'll be area for processing, one for handling, one for cold storage, just to make sure nothing gets like intertwined and cross-contaminated and all that stuff. We're also going to maintain the pond temperature and the aeration for the fish to ensure that they live their full life. We want to make sure that our fish are healthy when we start to process them for the fillets. Sanitation and safety gear will be provided as well as enforced. We want to make sure that the facility is clean overall.
Right.
As the most we can do is like make sure that the sanitation is kept up just so we keep all the contamination to a minimum or just gone altogether. And we're also going to be real proactive with our hazard prevention just to make sure that nothing can truly go wrong.
Right.
All right, that's the next slide. All right, so for our hazard analysis, it's going to be done as a team. We're going to analyze each step of the process for catfish fillets and list all the possible controls and decide where to control our hazards. Now, the hazards will be focused on 3 central areas. It will be biological, which would be, the parasites, the molds, the yeast, the fungus, all that stuff. The physical, which would be like if glass were to get into the processing or if hair was to fall out of a worker's hair into the fillets, things like that, things of that nature. And then the chemical, which would be the antibiotics, if a fish had died and decomposed in a pond, things of that nature, generally.
And now we're going to move on to the critical control points. So it's basically to eliminate food safety hazards or to reduce it. To apply a CCP to each hazard, even those hazards can have more than one. And also to general environmental facility, equipment design and maintenance, sanitary conditions and hygiene practice, pest control, ingredients and allergies, and chemical control. Next slide. So for the critical limits, it assures hazards are being controlled based on science. So if the critical limits is not met, then a corrective actions must be performed. So such as sanitation schedule, maintenance of clean uniform, general equipment ready for use, environment cleaned, and sanitation or sanitized. Employees practicing good practices, removal of pests, and containers clearly labeled.
All right, so for monitoring, basically we're going to be watching over the critical limits and keeping up with the critical control points just to make sure they're under control. So for monitoring, we will have high and low traffic areas just to keep the flow stable. We'll have production processes and labeling just to make sure we keep up on that. There's environmental zones. We'll make sure that we report to the supervisor or the higher up that's in the area for that area or for the whole facility. Washing facilities along with hygiene training will be given and supplied just to make sure everybody stays clean while they're in the facility.
Exactly.
We'll have sanitary zones and equipment just to make sure that everything goes well. We're also going to have examinations on the equipment to make sure that it stays up to date. We'll also ensure pest control methods are effective, especially when we're dealing with the ponds, because we have to make sure that the fish stay healthy, as well as chemically and properly, as well as label chemicals properly. Label chemicals properly and make sure they're contained and put in a secured area. So for the corrective actions, basically they're taken when the critical limits are not met. Basically we'll be reviewing maintenance procedures, discarding contaminated items, reviewing if disinfectants working and the proper procedures for them, detaining the products, reviewing pest control procedures, determining the potential allergens within the product, like if somebody were to eat it and would they be allergic, determine the contamination potential, and basically just review over the whole plan in general to make sure that there are no flaws or errors in our calculations.
So next things up is record keeping. You always want to keep a great amount of documents that's supposed to be, that you need for this type of facility. So you need documents of the order you need documents of the order and family of the catfish, documents of all sanitation products, documents for chemical products, documents for shipping and handling, documents for handling catfish, documents for health and safety risks, the Haacp plan and supporting documentation, records of critical control points monitoring, and records of corrective actions, as well as records of verification action. And last but not least, you're going to need your verification. So you need your validation, critical control points verification activities, calibration of monitoring devices and record review, targeted sampling and testing, critical control point record review, Haacp system verification, observations and reviews, and microbiological and product testing, and also you're going to have the regulatory agencies.
And basically that's all there is to it. We just have to make sure that everything is up to date, everything's clean, everything's sanitized. Keep a good eye on the fish just to make sure nothing could go wrong.
Yep.
Keep employees trained.
Always have your documents.
Always have the documents. Always be a step ahead of the game. Always make sure you're verified.
Yep.
And that's pretty much it. Thank you.
This concludes our presentation.